Actually, are we really about to race with 6 people? Or 7 actually, with... Oh shoot, right. Oh, okay! Completely forgot I'd already started commentating. Welcome everyone to... Oh, I want to cut. Cut the cameras. Cut. I've got the hiccups too now. Oh, great. Yeah, best intro ever, actually. I've nailed it. Knocked it out of the park, even. Thanks, phone, for not telling me. I should be worried anyway, because you may be the only one here at the moment, but the people still watch this afterwards, so... Welcome everyone to Envision Racing League. I'm Brett Evans, providing solo commentary the whole time. Maybe, I don't know, guy's gone AWOL. We're here at the Hungarian for round 4 of the championship, where of course it's a 10 round championship thanks to F122's announcement and due where it is. See, now there's 3 people watching, now you're making me look bad. Anyway, we're only 4 minutes away from this freaking phone. Should probably keep it off anyway, but obviously. So today we're only going to have 7, maybe. I really should put this on just vibrate. Anyway, actually I might just do that just to put it into perspective. So we are here at the Hungarian for round 4 of the 10 round championship. Obviously with F122 announced for the first weekend of July, we've had to cut back from our 12 presented cases. So we have got 1 minute left on the clock with payback for when you inevitably jinxed you. I do that a lot, so how exactly is that payback? Unless it's all coming back to haunt me now. Okay, so we will have 8 drivers, which means guaranteed points for every driver. I will get Izzy, who is in the commentary, well, not in the commentary, but is listening in on me, to get everyone to ready up, so I can sit back and proceed things. So we'll have our championship points leader Julian Van Gimmert in. We'll have Mitchell Ostanek, Michael Poland, who's coming off the back of a brilliant podium position in the F1 just recently seen. Jamie Platt Waters will make his debut race in the F2 category, and I'm sure his sister, oof, sorry Shannon if you are watching this. Oh, sorry, it's just once you get off the groove, it's kind of hard to get back onto the professional scale of it. Now I know how Crofty feels sometimes. Hang on a minute. So the one-shot qualifying for the sprint feature race will come under effect. I really need to get the sprint race feature race thing sort of sorted out in my head so that I can not trip over myself too much. But this is qualifying for the feature race. The sprint race should be the reverse grid of those qualifying results. So we'll see who can take pole position. I mean, for argument's sake, you'd probably want to qualify at the back, so you start at the front, but then, of course, you start at the back for the feature race, which is worth more points, so it does sort of stop people from just trying to cheat the system by scoring pole by not qualifying. So, as we get underway for the feature race qualifying one-shot quali, we'll put on the information and the lap time. Currently, Eddie Bettenbauer setting the pace in the ART. We've got 2 ARTs. We've got 2 Primas. We've got 2 Carlins and 1 Dams and High-Tech. But at the moment, we're watching Mitchell Osternick in the Dams, who's now just jumped to the top. Both Carlins now to the bottom of the field. I don't suppose it shows you the invalidation, so could be... It usually pays, although generally when you see someone go from the top and then drop to the bottom, that's usually a sign that they have been invalidated. So there's a bit of a battle brewing for 5th place between Izzy and Alex Thomas. Michael Poland and Jamie have not made up any positions, so it does look like they have invalidated their lap times. We could probably have a look. Yep, Jamie has, and Michael is actually just off the pace at the moment. I shouldn't actually say that out loud, but I'm off my groove. But anyway, oh, Mitchell goes very wide. The penultimate corner, it's morning, and comes around the last corner, and Jamie has actually crashed into the fence, but Mitchell will take provisional pole. Well, not provisional, but he will take pole. Izzy vaulted up to P4, it looks like, in the wake of things. So it's going to be interesting to see this state of play. So yes, she did. So it's Netherlands 1-2 for the feature race. Addy will start in P3, Izzy 4th, Roscoe Armour in 5th, Alex Thomas in 6th, Michael Poland and Jamie will make up positions 7 and 8, which will mean that it will be an all Carlin front row for the sprint race, with Jamie taking pole position for the sprint race, which will be very interesting to see. His first ever race in the F2 cars, and as I say, if Shannon, if you're watching, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Miss you. Can't wait for you to come back home this weekend coming. So, So Shannon, my partner, currently over in Christchurch with her brother celebrating his birthday. So Jamie, happy birthday for the 20th. So that was yesterday. So happy birthday, mate, and hopefully we can see big things coming ahead. So just check the chat. Not bad. You know, Izzy, that's not something you should be openly admitting, considering our previous excursions with that sort of instance. So best to maybe keep that tight-lipped. In the wake of things. Anyway, we're about to get ready for the sprint race. It doesn't appear that doesn't look like Guy Tasker will be coming back for this commentary, so it looks like it's just going to be me the entire time. Now, Michael Poland is causing some disparity on the grid, but it's all back in line. So our TKA Media starting grid shows Jamie Platt on pole position in the Red Bull sponsored Carlin. And then it will be his teammate Michael Poland in the second of the Carlins. Alex Thomas in third place in the first of the premise. Actually, does Michael have a 5 on his car too? I have to admit, that is the number 5 on the Carlin, the Red Bull Carlin, with the yellow numbering is actually quite nice. I actually think they should do that more often. But anyway, Alex Thomas in the first of the Alex Thomas in the first of the ARTs in third, then Roscoe Armour. Izzy in P5 in the High-Tech, the Yuri Vips High-Tech, and Addy Bettenbauer in the second of the ARTs. Then we've got Julian Van Gemmert in the second Prima, the Robert Schwartzman, no, sorry, that's the Oscar Piastri Prima, and then Mitch, our pole sitter, in the Marcus Armstrong Dams. So 8 drivers in the grid. Jamie's taken a very different approach to the formation lap, rather to let his tyres cool down immeasurably waiting for the rest of the field. But like I say, that number 5 in yellow text is quite nice. I think the livery that Michael Poland is running is the Dan Tipton livery, and then Jamie's running the Jeruvala. Yeah, I can't remember his first name, but the Jeruvala Red Bull Carlin. And then I'm not quite fully up to date with the F2 cars of 2021 season, but anyway, the lights build up. We're about to get ready for the sprint race here, and it is lights out, and away we go. And it's actually a pretty good start from Jamie. He will lead them off, but then the field around them is going to pile through. Alex Thomas trying to go up the inside. Michael Poland having a look up the inside. There's contact, but oh, that's a huge pile up. Two Red Bull cars, which one of them I believe was Izzy. Virtual safety car will be out on the field now, so from pole to the back for Jamie, and it looked like it may have actually been Michael Poland who actually evidently turned his teammate around. So that's going to be an interesting state of play. But now from a Carlin 1-2, we move to a Prema 1-2, an ART 1-2, but it does look like that Alex Thomas has front wing damage to the extreme, so he'll be out of the running very shortly. The virtual safety car is probably helping him in a sense that he doesn't have to rush, but now that the it ends, he will have to. Now who's that just went flying off the circuit? That was Michael Poland. And yeah, that was quite an interesting first corner. We didn't quite get to see the extent to it. And watching, what do you got against the Pirelli signs? Looks like Jamie's gotten away with no damage, but in any which case he'll have to get back, get into the groove of things. These F2 cars. Oh, that's a huge spin there for Roscoe Armour. Was that? Did he do that by himself, or was he assisted? Very hard to describe there, but Michael Poland will now dive into the pits. Jamie will, I would say, stay out. In fact, actually, Jamie would be beneficial to stay out because we've got Julian in, Izzy in, Alex Thomas in, Michael Poland in. Jamie's going to vault up to P4. So that's good for him, but he's going to have to keep that momentum going. Luckily for him, the F2 pit stops with a front wing change as he goes. Ooh. Don't know how he missed that corner, but any which way we will. Looks like Izzy's putting her hand up for that, but for Jamie, he's just made a huge mistake under brakes at turn 1. So he will need to pit for a front wing change, and that's going to put him back down the order as well. But yeah, this is going to make the race a bit, well, it's now basically what you would call a race of two halves. So you've got the front three of Roscoe, who really got away with that spin by the fact that he, I guess, didn't lose out too much for the fact. Hang on, I'm just trying to word this together better. So he got away with the fact that, yeah, Eddie, it's a reverse grid for the sprint race based on the quality of results of the actually, yeah, I was just going to say, Roscoe did look like he was struggling in some of these areas, so he must have been sporting some front wing damage. Jamie's just slowly making his way back through the field, well, back towards the pit lane. As I said, he was primed to capitalise on everyone's misfortunes, but then overshot turn 1 and fired off into the fence. So just a bit of character building for the young New Zealander, 16 years of age now. His sister, actually, believe it or not, my partner, maybe not 10 minutes after I downloaded F122, was on the wheel straight away, having a few laps. Didn't do too bad around the Red Bull Ring. Punched out a 15, which then I broke a 4 or something and beat it. Anyway, so Eddie leads from Mitchell. Mitchell is right on the doorstep of this ART, and then Julian is 38 seconds behind. So as I said previously, this is now a race of 2 halves. So you've got the top 2 now, because obviously Roscoe's put himself into the second half, and then you've got the second half. Ooh, was that? Did I see something there, or was that my imagination? But Eddie, super defensive on the... Oh, almost gets collected by... Almost collects Jamie's Carlin as he was coming out of the pits, and Eddie loses the rear end and is off. In fact, Eddie's got some front wing damage as well, so I don't know if that's a result of the incident or if that is a result of the first lap mayhem. So it's hard to see. It was very hard to gauge what happened. I might be able to spare a few minutes, since we've sort of got a bit of a gap building, to just have a prime look and see what might have transpired there. So okay, so we're there on the grid, we're just waiting to see. I think we're about to build up to the 5 red lights, which we are. Don't know why the quality is so bad though. I'm just gonna pause that and hope to try and fix the quality so I can see better. Wait, why am I on data? Who knows? Anyway, so lights go out as they head towards turn 1. Like I say, it was a good start by Jamie. Now, I'm just going to slow this down just a fraction, so that I'm just going to look up as well, just to see that there's nothing. Actually, there is a battle between Roscoe and Izzy. I don't know if that's Roscoe passing Izzy or not, but let's go 2 times backwards. No, actually, sorry, that's 2 times faster. So we want to go by 2 far slower. So as they're coming into turn 1, just keeping my eye on things. Everything looks to be okay. Yep, Izzy's still on the back of Roscoe, so there could be an overtake, but I'll just keep watching this incident. So everything looks okay. There is a Red Bull sponsored car going into the back of Jamie just there. That must be Izzy going into the back, although there was 3 Red Bull sponsored cars, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that's me just mistaking the... Is he thinking about a move on Roscoe? No. So as we come in, there's Eddie up the inside, trying to get up the inside of Michael and Alex. So as Izzy hits Jamie, there's a bit of a concertina effect there. So Jamie starts to lose the rear end just a little bit, and then as he's trying to feed it back through, of course, Michael's pinched because of Eddie, and yep, there's the contact. So Michael inadvertently hits his own teammate. There's the wing damage on Eddie's car, so that's where all the damage was there. Now, Alex, of course, didn't have a front wing, so there's the box in, so that's where the front wing was lost. That's where Izzy got her front wing damage. I don't know about Julian though, because he got front wing damage. No, he looks like he's okay. No, sorry, that's Roscoe. But it looks like Julian doesn't have damage there either, so I don't understand where he picked up that wing damage. So, a very interesting first corner, which has resulted in quite a few cars being taken out of the picture early in. Izzy puts a hand up for that, but damage is already done in that respect. But obviously, it's like I say, everyone's scheduled for points, so it's not like they need to be too hectic. We'll just have a quick watch of Jamie at the moment, and he seems to be trucking along just alright. No more damage. And yeah, it's just a learning curve really for him. He's just got to try and keep the car on the track, keep the car into motion, and everything becomes a lot easier from there on out. So Mitchell has a 6-second lead over Eddie, and Eddie doesn't really need to pit because he's pretty solidly in second place, unless of course a safety car comes out and bunches the field back up. Julian in third, our championship points leader. He'll take a bit of a hit, but of course it is a sprint race, so it's only half points. for this race. So it's 15, I believe, for the winner, 12 for second, 10 for third. So a 5-point miss, but obviously the feature race is the more important one, of course, although he does start beside his championship rival in Mitchell. Alex Thomas under siege here from Roscoe Armour and Izzy. In fact, Izzy's doing a very good job to stay with Roscoe in this ordeal. Michael Pollan a further back, 9 seconds, and then Jamie, who is a lap down and 1 minute and 3 seconds behind his teammate. So let's have a look at this. So of course Alex won't have the DRS, both Izzy and Roscoe will, but the gap is about stable enough that the DRS won't make a difference here coming into turn 1. And then into turn 2 you get another boost of DRS heading into turn 2, and no move chain, well, no dice for position there, although it does look like Roscoe takes a much shallower line through some of these corners, and that really shows, because it gives you a lot more gives him a lot more drive into the corner. We'll just have a look at this, because we can look at it from all angles this way. So Izzy still holding firm behind. Oh, Thomas makes a bit of an error coming through turn 4. Of course, subsequently, you don't want to be making that mistake on the other side, because it's an auto spin curb, and I don't think the F2 cars are safe from that. So you just got to be careful with how you approach it. Now, just looking at the screen, looking at the mini-map, I think, not sure if that's Jamie. Yeah, that's Jamie. Who's that coming up behind him? It's one of the Premiers, so I'm guessing it would be Julian, which I'm correct. But we'll carry on regardless. Michael Pollan is the first driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty. So Jamie, if you're watching and listening, the prior objective is that when you get blue flags, you need to get out of the driver's way as quickly and as humanely as possible. So stay off the racing line, and then if they're right up behind you on the straight, just get off the gas and let them through. So you've got the blue flags now, so now you just got to drop the gas, pull off to the side, and then let them through. So, because you're not racing this guy now, so. Oof, that's a dangerous place to be. So we're just watching this because I think in fairness to the situation, Julian shouldn't really be trying to make these dicey moves, but Jamie really does need to get out of the way. Well, though I think he's just made the job easier for Julian there. Ooh, bit dicey there, but job done regardless. I'm sure Julian will be up a bit angry about that, but there's just some teething out issues that obviously Jamie's a bit unfamiliar with the sport, so a bit of tutorial will help him there. As Roscoe makes a move up the inside of Alex Thomas for position and gets that position done, but through watching all that, the penalties have sort of picked up a little bit, so is he still within a shot here of picking up 4th place if she can stay with these guys? But yeah, the gap primarily is not going to be changing too much around. Oh, and got a yellow flag. That was, I think, Jamie having an off at turn 4. I'm hoping that he didn't impede or affect the others around him, but hopefully we carry on as such. So yeah, with these 5-second penalties, well, these 3-second penalties at play, Izzy is the beneficiary to take P4, which would be a very good result for her. Of course, sprint race is, Izzy struggling to stay on the track. See, I told you, it's not a jinx effect. If you're listening, if you can hear me commentating about you, you shouldn't be panicking. You should be just staying calm as Michael picks up another 3-second time penalty and carries through. So she's still got the DRS, and she's still... I just got to check out on the leader scale. Yeah, she's still within the 3-second range. So yellow flag, that's Jamie being slowed down the straight. I wonder if he just let his teammate through. So yeah, when you get the blue flags, Jamie, you got to let the driver through. They're ahead of you on track by a lap, which means you have to get out of their way. So we're on lap 11 of 14 of the sprint race, and Mitchell is just stretching his legs to the tune of 11 seconds. Of course, Addy is sporting front wing damage from the start of the race. He probably should have pit on lap 1. In fairness to that situation, it probably would have come back to him anyway based on track position. So the field is spreading out a bit, but this gap now, I think this has hurt Izzy a little bit, because Alex was originally going with Roscoe, but now has actually dropped out of DRS range. So it means now that Roscoe is going to be able to just get away from these two, which means for Izzy, P5 is now her best bet. So unless Roscoe picks up another penalty, it's pretty much a guaranteed P5 at this present point of time. Though at the same time, she is losing ground to Alex as well, so she's going to want to be careful in these last 3 laps that she doesn't lose too much more time. So 1.2 seconds will be that point that she would want to keep the threshold at, because if she goes beyond 3 seconds or picks up a 3-second penalty... Now, what just happened there? Roscoe just suddenly lost a lot of pace coming out of turn 2, almost like the car died or something, which I don't think happens, but that was a very random occurrence where suddenly the car just slowed down. Jamie's back in the pits, I'm guessing for a front wing change. Still got to understand the pit lane release function, but he's slowly getting there. So yeah, very interesting there from Roscoe to lose time, and Izzy's had a moment as well somewhere, because she's now suddenly 2.8 seconds behind Alex. So I don't know, you can't go and say that that was caused by jinxing, because I didn't say anything promoting, but in any which case she's just hanging on by the scrape of a nail to hold on to the potential of getting P5, P4 possibly if these two start battling a bit more. But at the moment, as Jamie picks up his first penalty of the race, it's all about maintaining the gap, although she's now just dropped to 3 seconds, so it's probably going to be more likely for her to consolidate 6th place, pretty much like she predicted. But it's when you consider the notion of it. I mean, if you look at the fact I've been securing consecutive 8th place finishes in the F1, so it makes sense. And consecutive 1st place in the GD7 league, so bit of a cheeky plug there, but consistency helps. That's probably one of the best things you can think about it, is that consistency works in these types of championships. So, you know, Izzy may look at it as just continually getting 6th place, but 6th place makes a difference when it comes down to it. Now, was Alex close enough? I don't think he was. I don't think he was at the DRS activation point when, and was a second behind. The cat's a little annoyed because I'm shaking my knee and he is so dangerously close to the table edge, so I'm getting bonked on the head. Hang on, if I just put my mic close enough. Send a thumbs up to the video if you can hear the kitty purr. Anyway, so that's our new mascot, Sora. Beautiful girl that she is. So she's sitting on my knee while we get through this thing. So Guy Tasker definitely doesn't look like he's coming back for the commentary for the feature race or at all. So we will carry on commentary as a solo effort, which is not too bad. It's just sort of hard to hold a complete conversation doing it, but we will press on nonetheless. Just checking some information out, which we're fine. Mitchell, Michael Pollan's dangerously close to being put a lap down again. But, being put a lap down, but in any which case, it's going to be another victory for Mitchell in the sprint race. It's the feature races that really need to be the striking point. He hasn't been as lucky in that because the championship points leader, Julian's just been super consistent, and of course, with the way this motion works, it just puts people under pressure. But any which way, Michael decides he doesn't want to finish the race and gets taken over by Mitchell, who wins the sprint race. And Eddie Bettenbauer 15 seconds behind in position 2. Now, that's bad news for Alex Thomas. He's just disconnected, which means Izzy is going to be able to wrap him up. And I don't even think she's going to need to wait for the penalty system to kick into effect. I think she might be able to take this position on track. Hard to say. I'll just quickly re-invite him. She will take P5, so we don't need to see it. But around the last corner for Alex Thomas, Roscoe will finish in P3. Alex will finish P5, but will be taken over by Izzy, who will secure a top 5 finish, her first of the season. So congratulations, Izzy, for that. Jamie, a lap down, finishes in P8. He finishes the race. So congratulations, Jamie, on your first race finish. I'm sure there'll be a bit of information as to why he wasn't getting out of the way under the blue flag conditions, but I'm sure he'll know that for the next one, that with blue flags you have to get out of the driver's way, as you're no longer racing them for position. So Mitchell takes first race honours and bags the 17 points. As we look at the results for the weekend, which we can do early, you can see he has got a 21 points lead, which is a combination of qualifying on pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. Of course, fastest lap is 2 points, qualifying on pole is 4. Obviously now with Formula 1 sprint qualifying, we do have points for that and the 1 point for fastest lap. My cat Sora's gotten really jumpy all of a sudden. Can't be on the... just heavy rain from the sounds of it. Oh, maybe that's... although cats usually get really jumpy when there's massive earthquakes. Oh god, is the Alpine fight about to go? I might just be able to, hang on. Dislodge this enough so I can move over and have a look at what's going on. Don't know what's got us so rattled, but anyway, our starting grid for the feature race is as followed. Mitchell Osnick will take pole position in a beautiful lap, and he will have Julian Van Gimmert alongside. Gotta carry on with this. Moving down to the rest of the field, we've got Benbow, Kreen, Van Gimmert, and Thomas. Poland and Platt Waters makes up the rest of it. Oh God, stab me. Stab me really thick, just plunge it in deep. Cringe. The cringe. So, once I recover from the cringe, sorry. As I say, like and subscribe if you can hear the purr from the mascot. Hang on. Yes. Oh, she's getting cuddly. So, there's a feature from the co-commentator, the Sora. So 19 laps we have for this race. Now let's have a look at the tyre options. So Izzy Kreen going against the groove as always and starting on the softs, as is Alex Thomas and Michael Poland. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the race pans out. So 3 drivers on the soft, the rest are on mediums. It's the feature race. This is where it's crunch time. Everything matters. Brakes are starting to build up some temperature and smoke. But it is lights out. And away we go for the feature race. The wheels spin out of control. And that was Izzy Kreen with a beautiful start. Someone's already lost their front wing from the get-go. Izzy's going to jump up to P2. And who was that? That was Alex Thomas straight into the back of his own teammate. What has happened there? I'm going to have to look back on that one. Looked pretty prevalently obvious what it was, but Izzy leads the race from Julian. But there is front wing damage around, so let's see. Front wing damage for Izzy. Julian's okay. Michael Poland's okay. Mitch is okay. He just had a bad start from the looks of it. Roscoe's okay. Jamie, I think, is okay. Just can't tell just yet. Yeah, he's okay. And then Eddie has the front wing damage there. So we are under full course yellow, which means these drivers... The problem is, though, is that you can't pit under yellow and change tyres. And on top of that, it doesn't actually... And Izzy's car just turned right. Was that another controller diff? I mean, I'm not sure. But yeah, here we go. So Julian is coming into the pits. He didn't have front wing damage though. So I'll be interested to know what happened there with Izzy, but it just looked like she just turned right. But while... Okay, so Alex is claiming that it wouldn't let him take control. I'm just going to look. So that's the end of the sprint race, so we need to go... Oh no, that was perfect actually. Okay, so we'll run the race from here. I know Izzy will say something based on what happened, so I'll know about that soon. No, we need a pause so I can check the playback speed. Put that back to there. Now, let's have a look. So, Alex said his car wouldn't take control, but actually, that was quite interesting. What was that? Izzy did comment. I'll just quickly look at that comment, which was this fucking... Well, I shouldn't really reiterate that, but let me just have a look. So as they're coming down towards turn 1, there's a bit of a squeeze there from Eddie and... It does look like... Yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting. But I'll just have a look at this video, because this is a video that's showing Alex's perspective. Huh, what'd you look at that? Actually, I think I know that glitch. So... So yeah, that's what I can make of it. So it looks like, based on the footage shown from Alex's perspective, the car's driven on straight ahead as though someone's just straight lining the driver. But what I think has happened is that he's tried to take control of the car, and it has. But the problem is the game hasn't put him back into his perspective to see the car. So from what the video of Alex shows is that the car, he's actually watching his car from, it was the perspective of, I think, Mitch. Actually, yeah, looking at that T-cam, it was Mitch. So from Mitch's perspective, he watched his own car basically just straight line the field because it wasn't slowing down. So I think if Alex was able to drive the car as such, it could have been that, but I guess because he didn't think he had in control, he just didn't think about it. So that's a very interesting glitch as the fastest laps tumble. And Michael Pollan leads the race in the Carlin, so he started at the back, he's up the front. Jamie is up to P4 from all this, and he's got Julian for company. This time they can race for position, so I think Julian will be a bit more aggressive on the approach. Now, because Michael's on the soft tyre, I think, by theory, he should get away. Now, there's a move here from Julian on Jamie. Has that been conducted? Yes, good move. Jamie didn't fight it. Is he going to fight back up the inside? No, he's not. He's got Eddie for company behind, as Michael has... You know, that bugs me. Why is Michael's car less laggy in the F2 cars? But he's dropping position. He's dropping like a fly. He's now behind his teammate who's coming under attack from Eddie. I don't know if that's... Oh, my goodness. I would not have called that the most ideal overtaking opportunity, but he made it stick. Well, you know, we're born as we are, Abyss, so welcome to the broadcast. As Eddie tries to... Jamie is going around in AI, is he? Oh, he is too. So he maybe needed to do something, so... Is he with the ferocious dive bomb? Can't get it done. But Izzy, in saying that, you would have had to have been AI for that to be put into effect, but anyway, I won't go on about that, but Izzy picks up a 3-second time penalty. That was a bit of an interesting place to do it. But anyway, we'll press on back up to the front because Julian is right up on the back of his teammate. Now, going by championship perspective moves as Izzy now clears that overtake. Going from the perspective of position, Julian's on the better tyre, so he's obviously going to have the quicker car. So for Roscoe, it would be... I mean, he doesn't have to, because it's obviously we're not real life racing, so the cars are not it's, you know, these two are just two different people from around the world just racing, but it does look like Roscoe is either going really super defensive or he's just parting the seas, and he actually just parted the sea. So from the championship perspective, that makes sense. But it's like I said, these guys may be driving the same team, but they don't have to treat it like the actual teammates. I mean, when you look at me and Guy Tasker, for example, we drive as a team, but that's only because we get along with each other so well. We know each other, and we race against each other all the time. Roscoe and Julian probably don't really know each other from a bar of soap. They don't communicate with each other or whatnot. Maybe they do, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say, but as it is, they're just two competitors driving the same car. So in theory, Roscoe doesn't have to get out of Julian's way from the championship perspective. It's kind of hard to work out if Jamie's still... Oh, maybe I can... Hang on. No, he's too far back to... But there is a good battle brewing here between Izzy and Michael for position 5. So Izzy on course for a possible another top 5 finish if she can get this job done. Was leading this race. F122, bet you can't wait to combine PC and console. Well, yeah, obviously with the news that crossplay is going to be a thing on 2020 F122, it will make league operations a hell of a lot easier, because it means that you don't have to try and have different coordinators controlling divisions. It's more about controlling the tiers. Oh, now I was about to say neither car have come out of that, so they both spin, but it does look like they've managed to come out of it in one piece, and it does appear that Jamie is still AI. So maybe he's gone being called to breakfast or something. It just means he won't be classified. But yeah, it's good news for the community for league races, because like I say, it means that we don't have to have PC division, Xbox division, PS4 or PlayStation division. It means now we can have tiers based on the performances of the drivers. The problem is, though, is that we don't have a definite answer as to when crossplay is going to become a thing, because I don't know if it's a sense of irony or something, but the development team that create the crossplay function are in Ukraine, which is currently under siege at the moment. So it could take a while before crossplay becomes a thing. That's why the notion that season 2 for ERL, Envision Racing League, will be still strictly console, and then maybe by season 3, which will take us towards near the end of 2022 into the start of 2023, we're hoping that crossplay becomes a thing. I mean, for all we know, it could be earlier, it could be later. It's hard to say, but you know, the news is good at least that there is going to be crossplay for F1, and it's only taken. I mean, we've only really sort of only wanted this development for maybe the last 3 or 4 years, maybe. So, for it to happen 3 or 4 years later is a good thing. Also, the good news that the cross-platforming is going to be still in effect too. So, it means that we don't have to split the field into PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox 360, well, Xbox One and Xbox S and X, or whatever they're called. So, EA have obviously thought through about it. It probably got a bit of backlash about some of the news that they were reporting, or misinformation, however you want to interpret it. But in any which case, it's going to be a real interesting display of how things play out. So, off that subject, back into the race, Julian is 1.8 seconds behind Mitchell. That gap is dropping, and there is a battle brewing between Roscoe Armour and Eddie Bettenbell. Izzy is now coming into the pits, and I think she may have just grabbed the fence along the way. It's hard to say. She just looked really bad coming out of coming into the corner, although it's one step better than me. I spun. I half spun in the pits in my F1 race, so no, it's just a standard pit stop. This will be an interesting rejoin. Although Jamie is still paused, I believe, so hard to say. But Izzy is going to come out quite comfortably ahead and on the medium tyre as opposed to Jamie on the soft. So they're projecting that the softs can go 10 laps. So we would expect to see... Well, actually, keep in mind that Julian and those behind him all pit for under the safety car. Now, I wonder if actually... I'm not expecting these tyres to go the distance, but I'm wondering if Julian maybe pit onto the softs just to get track... Well, not track position, but to obviously put pressure on the medium runners, which... could be an interesting strategy point. I'm not sure how well it plays out, but you know, my strategy in the F1 race was to pit under virtual safety car on lap 1 to pit on the hards, and that probably would have worked if it wasn't for the rest of it. But obviously Julian has a strategy in mind that I guess he's maybe by doing the he's trying to do the overcut. But it's hard to say based on that perspective. And is he coming back in? That's a bit interesting. Has she picked up wing damage in the offset, or is she just doing the one lap? Let's have a look. There's no rush for... Huh. Don't know what that means and such. That Izzy saying she doesn't have tyres, but in any which case she will rejoin in what will be 6th place, because if Jamie isn't able to... Oh no, he's definitely back now. But yeah. So if he finishes the race now, he should be classified as a finisher, so he will secure P5. I think so. Jordan comment, hey Brett, I can't race today as I'm working today and tomorrow. Next week on Saturday I have off, but not Sunday. Thanks for that information, Jordan. I did somewhat think that, but I just have a tendency to invite drivers regardless, as Mitch actually just sets the fastest first sector on the medium tyres. They have done 10 laps, so he's showing some pretty impressive pace. So at this point, if Jamie keeps the momentum up, he could be scoring a top 5 finish. But he has to keep it on the track, and he has to keep it free from penalties. And he does have to finish now the rest of the race on the, well, in control of the car. If he pauses again, I think, I'm just having a calculation of how many laps he ran AI versus how many laps he's got left. He was... yeah, if he goes AI for one more lap, he will be not classified as a racer. So Julian now pits, as Mitchell says, the fastest lap of the race on the mediums. They have done 11 laps, so he is... Oh, this is not good. This is not good news. And this is... Oh, and that's why, because Roscoe's picked up a puncture, so Roscoe doesn't have a choice. Look at the speed of that pit crew. Absolutely incredible. I've never seen... It was like Sonic speed. It was so fast. He was so fast. So, really, Roscoe probably only lost a second worst. But he picked up a puncture on the mediums of all tyres. So, does that mean that the mediums only have a short life expectancy? Does that mean that Mitchell's going to end up with a puncture? Or did Roscoe pick up debris or something? It's hard to say, but yeah, puncture on the medium tyres, which I would have thought would have been a lot more durable in that sense. So, oh sorry, actually Mitch is in the Roy Nissani dams, not the Marcus Armstrong one. Actually, I don't even know who... I don't actually know. Mitch doesn't even have a teammate yet. So, yeah, Mitch in the pits now. And it will be pretty critical. Or maybe that was Julian's plan, to pit onto soft tyres under the safety car to keep with Mitch on pace, and then use the softs again. But I think that in-lap from Mitch was just so on point that I've picked up a bleeding nose somehow. But yeah, I don't think Mitch was in any danger of losing the lead after that impressive in-lap on the medium tyre. So really it's a battle now of, can Julian catch Mitch to make an overtake, or will Mitch make a mistake, get a penalty, and Julian capitalise on that? But as it is, Mitch is looking like he'll be the first driver this season to complete a full house. Which, although, does he currently hold the... Well, he does, actually. So, if he can hold on to the fastest lap of the race, get the pole position, he won't get a Grand Slam, because the Grand Slam is lead every lap, but he will, if he does carry on the way he will secure a full house, which is qualifying on pole, winning both races, and fastest lap in both races. So he's on his way to achieving both. There is an opportunity for a driver to upset that balance. Now, if we just have a look at the penalty system at the moment, Michael Poland has picked up 14 seconds of penalties and goes immensely off the circuit there. Actually, no, sorry, that was his teammate, actually. So, Jamie doesn't actually really have to fight too hard against Michael, although Michael just makes... Well, I thought Michael actually made short work of Jamie into that corner, but we will just... we'll go on board with Michael and see how he approaches his teammate. So, as Roscoe now takes the fastest lap off Mitchell, but that's only a lap prior, so it's could be easy for Mitch to take that back. But you can see the different lines they take. Jamie takes a really wide out approach, which gives Michael the incentive to think, I'll go up the inside, but then the door shuts off because Jamie's taking the line to try and make the exit better. But the braking differences between these two is quite impeccable. It's actually helping Izzy get to the back of these two. So, what's going to happen here? Jamie's pitting. I don't see I don't see any damage on his car, so... He gets a 5-second penalty, so he wasn't quite on the upkeep of trying to stay on the track. But let's have a look and see. There's no front wing change. 3-second penalty for Roscoe Armour, which puts him out of the hunt against Eddie. So Eddie looks like he'll secure another podium. The question is, can Mitch respond with the fastest lap of the race? No, he can't. So, what is the current fastest lap? A 28.7. He's just only done a 28.29 dead. I don't know if that was his actual previous lap. No, it's not going to show. So, hard to say there. But we'll go back now to the gaps. Izzy, 2 seconds. Oh, turn 1 incident. Jamie is stranded on the circuit, which was actually him getting out of the way. When you get blue flagged, you don't have to, you got to get out of the way, but you don't have to do it to a point where you're stranded. You know, you're stranding yourself on the circuit. You just got to find a nice area where you can pull off to the side of the road, or if it's at a corner, you just go out off the racing line and let them through that way. So, yeah, you don't have to stop on the circuit and let people through. So that's just the many lessons that can be given from that point. So, lap 15 of 19, Mitch currently leads the way. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. So, lap 15 of 19, Mitch leads the way from Julian. 5 seconds is the gap, so Mitch has stretched his legs out. The question is he attempting to go for the fastest lap? We don't know, but will he get it on this one? Yes, he will, a 28.6, so only a 10th difference. Of course, at any given point, any of these drivers could pull the trigger to pit for the fastest lap. Roscoe is probably the best positioned car to do it because he's 48 seconds clear of Michael Poland, so there's no way that... and, of course, Michael with his 14 seconds of penalties will not... Well, actually make that 17. Is that legit? Just keeping that in thought. If it's 3 seconds of penalties per... No, if I'm not mistaken, it goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So he's got another second in there. So I'm guessing that means that Michael has a 5-second penalty somewhere. Let's have a look. So if we can find something that suggests, there we go, 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. Didn't see that, so that explains Michael Poland's 17 seconds, which will drop to 12 seconds by the end of the Grand Prix. So, in any which case, it will be P6 for Michael and another P5 result for Izzy. But the race has sort of settled down a bit, and there's only 2 laps left to go, so there's not really much else that can be said on the grounds of things other than providing some input as to what's going on. So, sorry, it's just cold, so my body sort of seizes up on me. So, currently, we go to Daytona tomorrow for the GG7 TCR Championship. And then, next weekend we head to Brazil, I believe it is. I'll just double check our race schedule. We are indeed off to Brazil for round 5 of the championship. And then we go to Belgium. Then after that, Saudi Arabia, the Netherlands, and then we finish off at Austria and Bahrain. We have pulled out Monza and Circuit of the Americas in place to finish our seasons off at Austria and Bahrain. So, lap 18 of 19, and we have got a battle starting to brew. Roscoe is starting to push onto the back of Addy, but Addy does have no penalties to his name, whereas unfortunately Roscoe has 3 seconds to his name. Michael Poland still with his 17, and we've got Jamie who's just put it into the wall. I don't think there's going to bring any oh no, I think I know where he's done it. He's gone in too early. He's clipped the inside wall at the pit lane. I've done that before so many times. That is so disheartening. But he will be classified as a finisher, as opposed to finishing 90% of the race, and still managed to hold on to the 75% of the race contested. So he will finish P7, which will be his best finish of the season in these cars. So Izzy will also claim her best result of P7, P5 I should say, but she's compromised. She's pitting. I don't know, Izzy. I think I know where you're going for. No? I'm lost. $89, but well, you would have made it anyway. I'm sure you would have made it. But oh, we got to change for position. So this is the last lap. Keep in mind. So Roscoe's now got to try and pull 3 seconds in the space. Well, 2.8 in the space of the entire lap. Which, unless Addy has an absolute shocker of a last lap, or puncture, or picks up a penalty, that's Michael Poland going slowly. Hard to say. I know what he's planned. Here, Michael doesn't want to finish the race. He doesn't want to finish on the lead lap, so he's gonna do it again. He's gonna let bloody Mitch take the position. So Michael's just consolidating position. So cheeky little bugger. In any which case, Mitchell is gonna do it. He is gonna take the full house. Fastest lap, pole position. And across the line, it's a full house for Mitch. And Julian, the points leader, will... Well, he's going to take a hit in the championship, but he'll hold on to it. And Roscoe will take P3, but he won't hold on to it. That will go to Addy. No, what? Oh, Addy got a puncture. Addy picked up a puncture. I've cursed him. I actually put the mocker on him. I can't believe it. I actually put the mocker on. Oh, it's official. The commentator's curse is real, ladies and gentlemen. That is unbelievable. So, yeah, Mitch takes the overall honours and undoubtedly wins the weekend with a perfect weekend in terms of points. 48 max for the championship, and then Julian will take second. Eddie will be on the podium, 1 point clear of Roscoe. Izzy with a career best 5th on the round, and then it will be Michael Poland, Jamie Platt-Waters, and Alex Thomas in the final spot. Now I just got to get back to the feature race so I can see those times. Yep, so that's good to go, and everything is in place. Well, what can I say? It's been a very interesting race in terms of everything's been put into perspective. So thanks for watching, everyone. Tune in next week for round 5 of the championship at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Tune in tomorrow for coverage of the GT7 TCR round at Daytona Road Course. See if we can consolidate more points in the championship lead for us. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.